Hello guys, and welcome back to the MD Investor, the channel where we talk about personal finance, increasing your financial IQ so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. Today's video, we're going to be talking about financial advice for my 30-year-olds. Financial advice for my 30-year-olds. I wish I knew this when I was entering into my 30s. If this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, you know already what we do. On YouTube, it's MD Investor. On Instagram, MD Investor 1. Financial advice for my 30-year-olds. We did a video, financial advice, I wish I knew my 20. Check that out. So now, congratulations, you have made it. You are an adult. You have a job. You may have a spouse. You may have children. You may have a home or thinking about buying a home. You may have debt. Likely, you may have student loans. So this is a very crucial decade. I can't overemphasize enough. 30 is a very crucial decade. The training wheels are taking off. You're no longer in your 20s having fun and all that stuff. You are a legitimate adult and all the responsibilities that go along with it. When you fill out your taxes and you get to a section that says dependents, you may have dependents. You may have 1 or 2 or 3 children. You may have a spouse. People that actually depend on you. And what you have is lots of bills. You have lots of bills. You may have a mortgage. You may have rent. You may have student loans. You may have credit card bills. You may have insurance. You have lots of bills and lots of people with their hand out looking to get money from you. Most likely you're only getting income from one source, your job. And everybody got their hands out. Pay me, pay me, pay me. And in this decade, you likely have an inherited poverty mindset. Let me say that again. You likely have inherited a poverty mindset. And you may be saying, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Exactly. But written on your subconscious mind, are all the traits of somebody with a poverty mindset. You'll see mom and dad. Maybe it's mom from a single family home. You'll see your uncles and aunts, and everybody's working and paying bills. And they tell you that's what adulthood is for. Working and paying bills, right? Remember when you used to backtalk your mom? And they tell you, you're going to do it my way, because while you're under my roof, okay, you're going to do what I say. When you get to your own house and pay your own bills, you'll do it your way. So linked in adulthood is paying bills, right? So inherited in this poverty mindset. And here you are in your 30s, where adulthood is on your shoulders, the weight of responsibility for children and spouse and your life and maybe community and your other responsibilities on your shoulders. And you have this poverty mindset. Unless you have somehow educated yourself, maybe had a mentor, read a book or something to rewrite that poverty mindset with some financial education, you're going to be in a very precarious situation. You're going to be getting income from your job. You're going to be working, but you have a poverty mindset. And like we always say, it's not what you make, it's what you keep, right? If you have all this money given to you and you have no wealthy mindset and what to do with it, you end up broke. Like so many of these rappers and athletes that we see. So I'm going to give you a couple. I'll give you 7 things that you have to do. There may be more, but these are the 7, and I was thinking about the video that I wish that I kind of had drilled in my brain. Number 1, insurance. Now, we have car insurance if you drive because the government, the state, forces you to get car insurance. But because in your 30s, likely, there's other people dependent on you, such as your children or your spouse, you need to have insurance. You need to have life insurance. You don't have to go out there and get expensive whole life insurance, but get affordable term life insurance. You're young, you're healthy, you don't smoke, you're not obese or anything. You'll be able to get a great policy for a very reasonable amount. The suggested amount is 10 to 12 times your gross salary. 10 to 12 times your gross salary. So if your gross salary is $100,000 a year, 10 to 12 times that is going to be anywhere between $1 million to $1.2 million in insurance. Okay, so 10 to 12 times your gross salary. And like I said, insurance is not for the people that pass away, but for the people that remains. If your salary is what your family is dependent on for the school and the mortgage for the house and all these things, and you pass away along with your salary, how are they going to be able to maintain that lifestyle? They won't, because your salary is not going to vanish. You need insurance, and it's a very irresponsible position to be in, to have dependents and not have insurance. Okay, we see all these things on social media where people don't even have insurance to bury their loved one, and they have to, do some type of GoFundMe. Okay, so life insurance. You may want to get disability insurance as well in case you become disabled. Disabled doesn't have to be, you were mangled in a car accident. It can just be something that causes you not to be able to do the work to work. Okay, so insurance, low cost, term life insurance, disability insurance, because now you have people depending on you. Number two, now you're in your 30s, right? You're 30. Number two, attacking debts. And primarily the debt I'm thinking here is high interest credit card. If you're in your 30s, you got high interest credit card because you're spending more than you can afford, try to keep it with the Joneses, 18, 19, 20, 22% interest rate, you got to get rid of that. That is ridiculous. You have to get rid of that, okay? That's like a weight around your neck. So you got to get rid of the high interest credit card debt. You may have student loans. If your student loans are lower interest, 3-4%, you may not have to go overboard and go too aggressive to pay them off, right? Because that money can be used to get a better return somewhere else, right? Because if your student loan debt is only 4%, why are we rushing to pay this off when that money could be invested and get a higher rate of return? So primarily the debt I'm talking about is a high interest credit card. You got to be credit card debt free. Number three, emergency fund. You're in your 30s. You have a job, you have family, you have responsibility. You need an emergency fund in case stuff happens, in case you get laid off, in case you get injured on your job, maybe not long enough for disability, because a lot of disability insurance, the policy kicks in or takes effect on the 91st day of injury. So you break your leg and you have the cast on for 8 weeks. 8 weeks is less than 90 days. You won't be getting any money for that. So that's where your emergency fund will come in. Maybe 3 to 6 months of savings. You could have that in a high interest savings account, something online like Ally Bank or something. High interest. That's very important. Okay? Number 4. The 30s is also the age where you're thinking about buying a home. Right? You walk in and you are seeing the hardwood floors, you're seeing the marble top and the granite and the sit-down shower and the backyard, and you're getting excited, especially if you didn't grow up in this type of home, right? You come from an apartment, but now you're in the school, you're getting paid well, and you're getting excited by this big house, 4,000 square foot, and you may go overboard. Okay, when I say that, I mean before you go crazy over the house, look at the school district. I said it because that's what we went through. We went for the home and we're like, okay, this is wonderful. Not looking at the school district. We're like, these kids are going to be going to this school. Is that a school you want them to go to? Is it a good school? Because you may have a great house, the school district is not good, then now what are you going to do? Either you're going to sacrifice your kid by sending them to an inferior school, or you're going to send them to a private school, which is going to be additional money. So slow your roll, look at the school district. Buy a home in a good blue ribbon school district. Therefore, you can use it. That's so important. If having a house in a good school district, you can use the school whether you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 10 kids. So look at the school district. And let me add this too. Avoid lifestyle creep. I did a video on lifestyle creep where now you're working, you're making good money, you have enough to pay for your home, your mortgage, your rent, and there's money left over. So therefore, I'll take bigger vacation, get the best cars, the lease cars instead of buying them. Avoid lifestyle creep because you're going to have nothing to show for it. You won't have any return on your investment, and that money can be used much better for your future. Number 5, you're in your 30s. This is the decade where everything is on your shoulder. Make sure you're maxing out your retirement accounts. Max out your IRA, right? We're talking about IRA. You can put up to $6,000 per year, maxed out every year. If you meet the eligibility requirements, so you're a single, $125,000 or less income, married, $204,000 or less, definitely contribute to your Roth IRA. Definitely do that. That's a key strategy because you won't get a tax deduction up front, but it'll grow tax-free when you take it out. Okay? So max out your Roth IRA or your IRA in general. Make sure you're contributing to your employer-sponsored 401k, at least up until you get the match, because that's free money you don't want to leave on the table. Okay? And make sure you also have a non-retirement brokerage account so you can continue to invest in that. Okay? An index fund is perfect. Broad-based index fund is perfect. Use the S&P 500 index fund, whether it's from Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab or Total Stock Market Fund. Check out the video I did on in your 20s, right? Advice I wish I had in my 20s. I'll kind of go through all the ticker symbols. But a broad-based index fund, whether the S&P 500 or Total Market Index Fund, is perfect. Low expense ratios, right? You can put your Roth IRA in it. You can put your non-retirement brokerage account. You can invest in that. Your 401k employer sponsored. Obviously, it will depend on what your employer signs you up for, because you may be limited. But look for an index fund if it is available. In your 30s, is also a great time to start getting your feet wet in investment real estate, investment property. Begin to research. Begin to kind of get your feet wet, do your due diligence, because it is a great tax shelter. Number 6, you're in your 30s, and this is the decade where people begin to have children, a lot of them. Or you may have children in your late 20s. So this is the age where you want to begin to think about your children and their future. So time to open a 529 savings account for their education. Okay? You're 30. You're 31. Begin to open a 529 brokerage account for your children. Or think about a custodial account for your children. Because they're young now, right? So they're probably going to be very young, newborn, 1, 2, 3 years old. And they have time for that money to compound. The 529, you may be limited in the options available, but in your custodial account, you can put it into a broad market index. So, this is an opportunity you want to use, because before you know it, they're going to be 12, 15, 17, going through the prom, 18, and you'll be like, oh wow, they're 18, I have not saved anything for college. So in your 30s, is a time where you want to begin to start thinking about your children and open a 529 or a custodial brokerage account. It's also the decade where you begin to talk to your children about personal finance. so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. And number 7, this is the decade in your 30s where you're going to want to start talking to your parents about their finances and about their retirement plans. What's going on? What do they have? Because if you don't, they may be miseducated. They may be ill-informed, as a lot of us are. And if you wait, there may not be any time to course correct. Talk to your parents when you are in your 30s, so maybe they're in your mid-50s or 60s. Begin to talk to them, look and see what they have. If there's things that okay, they're investing in something with a high expense ratio. Maybe look and see if you can make a modification, get them out of that garbage and maybe get them into an index fund, okay? Because if you don't look at it now, later on, when they don't have enough money to survive during retirement, they're gonna be looking at you, okay? So let's quickly review. So those are 7 things that in your 30s, you want to be aware of. So number 1, insurance. There are people depending on you. With that low cost, term life insurance is the best way to go. It's very cheap. You want to get about 10 to 12 times your gross salary. Number 2, you want to begin to attack your debts. And by debt, we're talking about your high interest credit card. The student loan debt at a low interest rate, you can wait. Don't throw all that money at the student debt because it may be a lower rate. If it's higher, that's fine. But if it's lower, 3, 4, 5%, you may want to just pay, the minimum as you go forward. But the high interest credit card got to go. Number 3, you have to have an emergency fund. Save 3 to 6 months, maybe in a high interest online bank, so in case anything happens, you are able to survive and sustain yourself while you're looking for another job. Number 4, this is the decade where you're going to begin to start thinking about home purchase. Look at the school system while you're looking at the backyard, the granite, the hardwood floors, and all that stuff. Look at the school system, because if it's an inferior school system, it's gonna cost you in tuition at a private school. Look at the school system, because that's one of the benefits of having a home. Avoid lifestyle creep, okay? So don't try to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses are broke. Avoid lifestyle creep, okay? Buy a car 2, 3 years old. You don't have to go leasing and buy a new car every year, every 2 years, and go on an expensive vacation. Number 5, max out your IRA. Okay, you have $6,000 a year, max it out. Whether you pay one time or $500 monthly, max it out. Get the 401k match. So if your employer is sponsoring a 401k and there's a match, contribute at least up to the match. After the match, if the choices or the offerings are not that good, you can put that money in a non-retirement brokerage account, okay? And this is also the decade where you want to begin to start looking at investment property. It's a great tax shelter, and it's a great way to get passive income for later on. Number 6, in your early 30s, this is when you begin to have children, a lot of people, and you want to begin to start looking at their future. Open a 529 brokerage account and also a custodial account, okay? That's something you want to do. It'll set them up for the future. And number 7, start thinking about your elderly parents. Talk to them about their finances. Look at their retirement. What do they have going on? Because they may be on the wrong road, and you may be able to make some correction from all the knowledge you've gained from listening to the MD Investor. So those are the 7 things, God. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment. And like I said, we try to do these videos every week to increase the financial IQ so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. If you haven't yet subscribed, why not? Let your friends and family know about the MD Investor, the place where we are breaking the cycle of generational poverty, one video at a time. Continue to command your money to grow. MD Investor out.